back. But David, I'm going to start with you. Let's talk about this disconnect, because we keep talking about how, oh, inflation is down, the stock market is up. But when you talk to people my parents' age, they talk about how they don't see that reflected in their grocery bill. How inflation on everyday costs are overwhelming people in their paychecks. What is the problem? How much can the president or Congress do to make the cost of living more reasonable for average Americans?
Yeah, I think it's a point of all age demographics, right? We're all feeling that inflation pinch. And I think it's a bigger picture of, even though the stock market is rallying, unemployment rate is at record lows, people still feel squeezed because people are being left behind. There's more of a divide than ever before. And President Biden, I believe, has done a good job facing off this major problem of inflation. And when you look globally, the United States has actually fared much better than other industrialized nations. But the president is limited in what he can do. And I think it is a political problem because Donald Trump, what he does best is just blame, blame, and attack. And he doesn't really have to come up with any solutions. He just says under him, there will be no inflation. Now, we all know that's a farce. But people that don't follow politics as closely, or policy for that matter, might be confused and tricked by Donald Trump. But what is Joe Biden doing? He's releasing a million barrels of oil from our strategic reserve to try to lower the price of gasoline over this holiday weekend. He's done many things like the Inflation Reduction Act, which, no, it's not going to lower inflation immediately, but it's doing many things to grow our economy, not just for today, but over the next few decades.
This weekend in Washington, D.C. And RFK Jr. spoke there on Friday. He's been polling with an average of about 8% against Biden and Trump. Who benefits the most with him in the election?
Well, I think the Libertarian Party benefits the most, right? We're talking about the Libertarian Party right now. They're inviting Donald Trump to speak, who's the GOP nominee. This is an unprecedented event that they're not going to be endorsing the GOP candidate, but yet they're having him come to their convention to address delegates, to address libertarian voters. So it's an interesting move. And RFK Jr., I mean, talk about wanting to have your cake and eat it too. He was running as a Democrat just a few months ago, talks about his environmental record. Many of the things that he boasts about are in a direct contradiction to what the Libertarian Party claims to stand for. But I think this is all about trying to boast the Libertarian Party. I think it's a smart move for them. I disagree with them on almost every level because I think it's living in a fantasy land, that the things that people are excited about and talking about, trying to inject money into the economy, trying to reform immigration in our country, fighting against crime, all of these things, the Libertarian Party doesn't have anything to stand on what they'll do. So it's very interesting. It'll be very interesting to watch what Donald Trump says. I think it's a good opportunity for Trump to try to get some of those voters over to his side. But I think the biggest winner here is the Libertarian Party.